Hey everybody, what's going on? As always, I say to go back to our earlier classes, that way you can understand, because all our knowledge is starting to build and accumulate, and everything is on the basis of our first classes, right? One of the central ideas in Judaism and in the belief of the way God runs the world is the idea of a reincarnation. Reincarnation is, when a person lived one life, did or didn't do what they were supposed to do in that lifetime, and their soul comes back into another body and moves on. That's a very simplistic point of view, but it's not really the totality of things. Meaning, each soul has 5 main parts to it. The first part, I'll say them in Hebrew, and because there's not really so much of an English definition to it, but there's a nefesh, ruach, neshama, chaya, and yechida. Okay, there's 5 parts of the soul that are connected to the body. Okay, people think it's just a soul and a body, as we've touched upon before, but really it's 5 parts of the soul that come into the body. The nefesh is in a person's liver. And that's like the animal soul. There's a ruach. Ruach is like the wind, the spirit that's in a person's heart. And then there's the neshama. Neshama is in a person's. It floats on top of the head. Okay, it's like more akin to his mind. And then he has auras that are on top of him. Two auras. One is called a chaya. Chaya is like a living creature, and yechida is like a oneness. Okay, so these are the 5 parts of their soul. Now, a person in their lifetime, they have to complete the mission of those 5 parts. But Kabbalah explains a little bit even more. Those 5 parts each have 5 parts. Okay, so just in the nefesh, when we said is in the person's liver, that nefesh has those same 5 parts in it. So it's really split into 5, okay? But it goes even deeper, because each one of those are split into 5, and you just keep going like that. So when a person fixes one thing in one lifetime, that part of the soul stays in the world of souls, and whatever they didn't finish fixing moves on to the next body and their next mission, okay? Now, a person nowadays could have thousands of things that they have to fix from 1,000 different souls, okay? And that are all reincarnated in them. So it's not a one-to-one relationship, okay? So I'm going to read from the actual, it's called Sha'ar Gilgulim, the gate of reincarnations, okay? It's the principles of how this works, more or less. And then we'll understand how our lives are built and structured. The reason we're talking about this, because last week's class we talked about players versus player haters, right? Like the snake wanted to take Adam's wife, right? And that was his whole purpose. He saw them together and he said, "Hey, I want that too." Okay, so he's saying that belongs to me. So a person may see another couple and say, "Hey, I want that person's wife, and that person's wife should belong to me." Okay, so now we're going to see how people are paired up in this world, okay? And I'll explain it as it relates to the sources, okay? בעניין גלגול הנשמות, למה מתגלגלים? So why do we reincarnate? דע, כי הנשמות יתגלגלו לכמה סיבות. There are several reasons why reincarnation needs to happen. הראשונה הוא לפי שעבר על איזה עבירה מהעבירות שבתורה. So a person committed some kind of transgression of the Torah, right? We said there's 613 commandments, and there's 7 rabbinical commandments, but one of the transgressions are of the 365, right? 365 negative commandments. So this person he transgressed one of them. So he has to come back into this world and fix that, okay? The second one is לתקן איזו מצווה שחסר ממנו. So the second reason he would come back in this world is because he didn't do a mitzvah. He didn't do a mitzvah, he didn't do a commandment, so he has to come back into this world and do this commandment. Okay? Now the Arizal says, he says in a different place, how does a person know what they have to fix? Okay? So any negative commandment or any commandment at all, the 613, that's difficult for them to do. Okay? That's their, what they have to fix in this lifetime. Or conversely, something they really love to do. Okay, of the commandments. Okay, something they really love to do. That's what fixes, their soul from a previous reincarnation. Okay. השלישית היא שבא לצורך אחרים, להדריכם ולתקנם. So the third reason a person may be reincarnated is because he has to help other people and guide them. Okay, he didn't do anything wrong in the previous reincarnation, but he has to help guide other people. Okay? והנה הראשונה היא קרוב לחטא, כיוון שבתחילה חטא. So the first person that comes because of a sin, so this person in this lifetime is going to be very drawn towards sin. He's going to do sins. Okay? He's going to have this very difficult time, like pulling away from any kind of negative commandment. Okay? והבית הוא רחוק מלאכתו. But the second person, the one that just didn't do a commandment, a positive commandment, so he'll be far away from sinning. Okay, he might grow up religious, he might grow up like in a good environment, good people around him, role models and that kind of stuff, and he'll be distanced away from it. Okay, but he still has a mission to complete, right? He may need to learn, he may need to do some acts of kindness, whatever it is he didn't do, he just came and he's in a good situation. See, people always say like, oh, I wish I was born religious, or I wish I had this, this parent or that parent and that kind of stuff. But really, no, everybody's there in the situation that they're supposed to be in order to fix their soul. Their situation is tailor-fitted for their soul. Okay? והשלישית, we're talking, again, just to repeat, we're talking about reincarnations and souls, and why a person comes to the world and how that relates to who they marry and carry on their mission in this world. Okay? והשלישית ודאי שלא יחטא. So the third person that comes into this world to guide other people and teach them the ways of the Torah, they're not going to sin. They're not going to be a person that sins. Okay? They're going to be, on the good side. Okay? And it's like promised to them that they won't sin. Okay? עוד יש סיבות אחרות, there are other reasons, ואלו הם כי לפעמים יתגלגל לקח את בת זוגו. It could be that in a previous reincarnation, he didn't take his soulmate. Okay? Bat zugo is like his pair. Right? A person didn't take his pair in a previous reincarnation, so he has to come back to take her. He didn't marry taking her in the first time around. Okay? It doesn't mean he didn't get married. He just didn't take his true pair. Okay? ופעמים שכבר לקח בת זוגו, the other times where he did take her in a previous reincarnation, אלא שחטא באיזה עבירה. He made some kind of sin while he was with her, והוא צריך להתגלגל לתקן אותה, כנזכר, right? So he had to be reincarnated to fix what he messed up in the first time around. ואז אינו בא רק יחידי. He only comes to this world by himself. He doesn't come with her. Okay? We're going to see later on, or I can tell you it outside. A woman doesn't get reincarnated, okay? A man does, okay? Men learn Torah, okay? And so the fires of Gehenna, fires of, the place in the world where the souls go to cleanse the soul, we call it Gehenna in Hebrew, the person, a man who learns Torah doesn't go in there, okay? So if he can't go in there, he still has to fix what he messed up. He has to come back into this world and take care of business. Okay, but a woman who doesn't learn Torah, so the fires of Gehenna, like they have the ability to clean her. So she doesn't need to come back down.
Can a male soul go into a woman's body?
Yes. Okay, and that's how we, when the question was, can a male soul go into a woman's body? Can a woman go into a man's body? And yes, and that's where we get, people who their voice changes, the Zohar says, and they have masculine or feminine traits, and they like the opposite sex, okay? And so a person could definitely be born with it, okay? So, and that's how it is, because the soul of a male went into a female body, or a female went into a male's body, okay? So this person is coming back down into the world, okay? This person comes back down into the world, but without their wife, okay? Not their wife per se, like someone they married, but their true pairing, right? Everybody has a true pairing. It's called the zivug, bat zugo, and for some reason this person didn't come down with them, okay? Upa'amim hu sheyesh lo zchuyot, right? The person has merits. ולכן, אף על פי שאינה צריכה להתגלגל, okay? Even though she doesn't have to come back down, מחזירים אשתו להתגלגל עמו. They bring back down his wife to be reincarnated with him. בסוד ויצא אשתו עמו. Okay? So he has some merits.
You just said the wife doesn't come
Yeah,
out.
I was just going
No.
to say
So they bring her down even though she doesn't need to. Okay? They bring her down for him.
That we are here just for the men, no?
Yeah.
Yes.
To fix men, right?
To help men fix themselves. Now the truth is
Because
a
we're
man
perfect, right?
a man is the six lower sphirot, the lower channels, and the woman is the seventh. Okay, the sixth give light to the seventh. The seventh is just a vessel that needs to be to receive the light. Okay, in Kabbalah terms, it's litaken, to fix the vessel. So the light fixes the vessel. So really, the man fixes the woman, but he needs something to fix, right? They both need each other. She needs his light, and he needs her, receiving of that light to fix it. But in terms of the daily activities, like things around the house that need to be taken care of, prepare a life together, and that kind of stuff, the physical needs. So yeah, the woman, helps the man and, gives him his powers. A lot of places in the Zohar, it says like a man without also in the Gemara, like a man without a wife is living without bracha, without blessing, without walls, without the defense system, without money, meaning like richness, real rich money. So yeah, a lot of the goodness that comes into the world is in the merit of the wife, right. So the wife actually, like a man could get mad at his wife for spending his money, but he's stupid because all the blessing comes through her, for her. So when somebody knows this, then he knows the halakha, the law that we said that a man should honor his wife more than himself. He should love her like himself, but honor her more than himself, right? So a man who knows this, he sees that law is natural, like there's an absolute reason that I should do that, right? Okay? ופעמים הוא שלא זכה בראשונה לקח בת זוגו. And sometimes the first reincarnation, he didn't merit taking his wife, not his wife, his pair, right? His soulmate, what we call. Okay? אומנם נזדמנה לו אישה לפי מעשיו. Okay? But a woman was given to him according to his actions. Okay? ובכל נשמות אנשים שבעולם, and with all the souls of women that are in the world, אין מי שתהיה קרובה אליו כאישה זו. There's nobody else in the world that's as close to him like this woman. Okay, he married her, but she's not really his, but she's closer than anybody else in the world. אף על פי שאינה בת זוגו ממש. She's not really his true soulmate. וכאשר חתן ונתגלגל, because he sinned and was reincarnated, מגלגלים עמו לאישה הזאת. They bring him along in life to this specific woman. Okay? אף על פי שאינה צריכה לגלגול. She didn't need to be reincarnated, but she was born for this guy. ואף על פי שאינה בת זוגו ממש. She's not his true pair. Now, there's a real distinction. Everybody knows, the Gemara says that קשה זיווגן של אדם כקריעת ים סוף, right? Bringing two people together is like splitting the Red Sea. It's difficult. So the Gemara asks, well, what do you mean it's difficult? Isn't there a voice that comes out 40 days before the baby's born that this woman's going to go to that woman, right, and to that man? So why is it difficult? If it's already predetermined, who's it going to be? So the Gemara says, "A bezivug rishon, a bezivug sheni." The first zivug, it goes perfectly as it says 40 days before they were born. The second zivug, no, it's a little bit problematic, right? It says according to his actions. According to his actions. Actions means thoughts, words, and actions, right? It's everything. At first glance, it looks like, oh, this is his first marriage and this is his second marriage. But the Arizal says, no, listen to the words that is used. It doesn't say Isha Rishona and Isha Shnia, first woman, second woman. It says Zivug Rishon, Zivug Sheni. Okay, Zivug is when the two souls come together. So when they first come together into this world, they're both clean and pure of sin. So it's easy to bring them together. Okay, because they're both clean. But the second time, when the man has to come back down again, and they have to bring him down, there's angels, let's call them devils, right? There's good angels and bad angels. The bad angels don't let them come together. They say, hey, she's pure and he's sinned. Why should they come together? Okay, and this is according to his actions. If his actions are good, and it says in the Gemara, Rashi says, if his actions are tznius, like they're modest, so he'll get a modest woman. If his actions are promiscuous, he'll get a promiscuous woman.
Okay, so when you say the second marriage, it's not in the real life.
No, it's not in real life. We're going to get to that. We're going to get to that. No, it's not. It's not in real life.
It's not like the second
the Arizal explains it's them coming back. Okay, it's them coming back the second time into this reincarnation. Okay, now there's a Gemara that says Isha ra'a mitzvah legarsha. A woman that's like evil, is bad, it's a mitzvah to let go of her. But other places and all over the Torah, it's always talking about shlom bayit and having peace in the home and goodness between a man and a woman. So how are the two reconciled? So the Ben Ish Chai writes that a woman who's always contentious to a man, always disagreeing with him, that's a sign that she's not really his true pairing, his true soulmate. Okay, and when she's fighting with him, that shows that she's not really his. Because if she was his, she would follow his lead and go on with him. Okay.
So why you married her? Why?
Because according to this, he has to fix something in this world that he didn't do yet. Okay, where either he did a mitzvah or he didn't do a mitzvah, he did a sin or something like that, and he had to come together with her, and whatever they need to do, maybe have kids, maybe not have kids, maybe experience suffering, experience all sorts of life together, but it was they're not really supposed to be together, but they're the closest in the world, and that's why they got married. Okay, that's why they got married, because they were the closest together to help each other with this reincarnation.
And when you marry someone else in this life,
same thing. So you finished before you got here. We talked about that a person's has 5 parts of their soul that come into their body, but each one of those 5 parts has 5 parts. So now you're talking about 25. But then you dig even deeper. Each part of those 5 have another 5. Okay, and it goes on to even the thousands. So a person could have in them as much as 1,000 different reincarnations that they have to fix. Okay, they don't know what it is, and they move out through life, and God arranges life tailor fitted to their soul in order what they need to do. But the main structure that everybody needs to know is the commandments, the 613 commandments, because your mind could go crazy, like, oh, what I need to do, what I don't need to do. It's not. It's very simple. Take the Torah, take the commandments, learn what they are, and learn how to do them. It's very, very simple. It's not, Torah is not complicated. People try to make this complicated. It's very not. God said, do this, I'll take care of everything. Okay? There's a verse. It says, B'chol darkecha da'eu, v'hu yasher ochotecha. Okay? In all your ways know him, and he'll straighten out your path. Okay? Because the person can get confused. But if everything you do, the Rambam brings it, and I think also the Gaon Vilna brings it, that if everything you do in order to know God, so he'll make sure that you do the right thing that you're supposed to do. What does it mean to know God? So the Rambam brings it in Chod Deot. He brings it that a person, he takes a shower, so his body's clean for the service of God. He eats what's needed to give his body sustenance in order to serve God. He goes to the doctor, he goes anything in life. He dresses himself. It's not to show off his body, not to show off his clothes or his wealth. He dresses, perfectly in line to what God needs to do to serve God, so that God will make sure his ways are good. Obviously, also following the Torah and following the mitzvot. So God will make sure that everything that needs to be reincarnated and come to him and to fix his soul will happen anyway. Okay? All right. Oda, more you should know, כי יש כמה שורשים של נשמות, there's certain root souls שנשארו בקליפות. Meaning when Adam sinned, he caused many souls to fall into what's called the shells, the klipot. Klipot in Hebrew is shells, it's impure places, okay? And slowly we come out of there, okay? Slowly the souls come out. And when they all come out, that's when, the actual redemption of everything is going on, okay? Hem v'nishehem bat zugam. So it's two, the male soul and the female soul fell into these impure places. והזכרים יכולים לצאת עתה בעולם הזה מתוך הקליפות. The men can come out of there. Okay, the men are able to come out of these impure places, אבל נקבותיהם אינם יכולים לצאת כלל עד ביאת המשיח. So their true pairing can't come out until the Mashiach comes. They're stuck in these impure places. So a person may come into the world and his true soulmate is stuck in an impure place. She's not here with him. He still has to get married, he still has to have kids, he still has the commandments to do everything else. But someone who's close to his soul, but not his true soulmate. Okay?
What does that mean, an impure place, though?
What's that?
What does that mean, an impure place? Just not in, being, following different rules of, religion? What?
No. Oh, right. Is it in this world or not in this world? So it's not in this world. It's this a spiritual place that's impure. Okay, it's called the klipot. Okay, and the person who does come to the world is the man. His woman, the one he's supposed to take, is there. This also once we start getting into this, we start understanding what's going on. It's this thing called a shidduch crisis, and people not being able to find their soulmate, and a lot of people breaking up, a lot of divorces and that kind of stuff, because as things speed up. I think it was Charles Barkley said that money doesn't make a person better or worse. It just turbo boosts who they really are, right? If they're an angry, mean person, you give them more money, you'll see how really angry and mean they are, and bad person they are. If they're sweet and everything like that, you give them money, boom, it supercharges them, and you see how sweet and how good they really are, right? So same thing as time seems to be moving very quickly and technology starts flying forward, we start seeing who's who and where everybody's supposed to be allocated to. Okay? אבל נקבותיהם אינם יכולים לצאת כלל עד ביאת המשיח. Right? So their women can't come out until the Mashiach time. והנה כל שורש חור בנה של מרים, the root of, there was a man named Hur, he was the son of Miriam, right, the prophetess, Moshe's sister. Okay, so everybody from his root soul, לא יצאו נשמות הנקבות שלהם עד ביאת המשיח. So all their women souls didn't come out, and they won't come out till Mashiach. Anybody who's from that root is going to have that. So a person might say, oh, well, I didn't merit, I'm no good, and they might take it on themselves they did something bad or anything like that. So don't. Okay? He says, כי גם אהרון הכהן לא נשא בת זוגו. Even Aaron, Moshe's brother, who was the first high priest, and he established the whole Kohanim lineage, he didn't take his bat zug. So a person shouldn't get discouraged because his bat zug, his soulmate is in the what's called the klipot, right? But he did take somebody who was close to him in his soul and helped him complete his mission, for what we know.
Why some people do not get married at all?
They may have taken and done everything in the previous reincarnation. We don't know, because a person can have so many parts of their soul that you don't know which part is what.
But that was planned?
Of course, everything's planned. We're going to get to that. We're going to get how God works and providence works. Because before you came, and what's hot in the issue of the world right now is like a tragedy that happened a few days ago. Kobe Bryant, right? Everybody knows the name, Kobe Bryant, and everything. A man seemingly at the height of life, and it was snatched away from him in one day. Obviously there was other souls on that helicopter, and they also got snatched away. And so if you don't understand how God runs the world, you see all his friends, all the NBA guys and everything, they're holding their heads. They're like, what's the purpose of life? What's going on? What does it all mean? They're all filled with confusion. These people who are seemingly successful in life and they seem to have it together have no clue what's going on. They have no answers. They don't know why something like this could happen. Okay? But, if we were talking about this before, if you really look at the world, millions of people are dying every day. Nobody asks why. It's just because this was so much in our face for so many years and so popular and so that we ask why. Nobody says anything about the 9 people that died, Everybody talks about it because it's Kobe. If it was just a helicopter accident, nobody would be talking about it, right? We're talking about it because it's Kobe, it's Kobe, it's Kobe. Listen, at the end of the day, we talked about this several times, that God is trying, we wrote it, he's trying to show his unity, that it's only him in control of the world, right? So you got to think, for the 6,000 years, God is showing that he's the one that runs everything, right? That he's in control. So slowly, not all the time, he has to give power to the other side. He has to make it look like there's another power in the world. That you don't have to believe in God. You can believe in the Mamba mentality. What's the Mamba mentality? Oh, you hard work and you keep pushing and you always fight and you always do stuff and you can control everything in your life. Just keep pushing, just keep fighting, okay? And it's good to succeed at that. You should do that with the evil inclination, right? But God also, he's going to show that he runs the world. So even as much as you do, and as much as you think you can control things, at the end of the day, he's going to show and make it that people realize that no, nothing's in your hands and nothing's in your control. Your life's a gift. Everything that happens to you is a gift. You just got to say thank you and try to understand it the best you can. Thank God we have the Torah, and the Torah helps us understand why things happen and how they happen. Okay, and to where the goal of the 6,000 years is happening. Okay, so a little bit I'll read our from our book that we started. The Way of God, right?
No, when someone gets reincarnated, it gets reincarnated in one body. Yeah, all the parts of that person get reincarnated in one body, or it could be several bodies.
It could be several bodies.
And that, but like let's say a person comes, carries several reincarnated souls.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep. And people might ask, like, well, who's gonna, when God makes the dead come back to life, like, which bodies are gonna? All of them. The answer is all of them. Okay. Whatever part it was supposed to go in each part, God will allocate it, and everybody will rise up.
So like how you have families in the physical world, like your parents and this and that. But if your souls are all like kind of like separated parts, and are those like when you, I guess after you pass away, like are you still like connected to that family in the same way?
Yeah, sure.
You still have that?
Sure. Yeah, you have that same connection.
Wants to know where her book is.
Everybody wants to know.
No, but when Mashiach's going to come, okay, hopefully everyone's going to be fixed. We'll have several parts of our soul in several people, yes?
Yes.
So now, okay, let me see my sister. but our soul is there. They're in several people, so they're all my sister.
No. Your body, as it is now today, and it's a relationship, is your sister. Okay, but you could have been sisters in the previous reincarnation, and that's why you may feel like a connection to them. You're from the same root. Usually, when people fight, okay, the Arizal says that their souls are very connected.
Like mother-in-laws and daughter-in-laws?
Everybody in the world, okay? Their souls are very connected. They stem from the same root.
Super connected.
Right? They stem from the same root. And what happens is they're both fighting for the energy coming from that root. And they're here, and they're both fighting for that same place. So they have to clash down here because they're fighting from that same place. So that's usually when you see like people fighting. Okay, another thing is
Even
that
couples?
Couples, everybody, they could be very close together and then boom. But remember what we said about couples, that if the wife is not really his, she's gonna give him trouble, right? If she was his, she would go along with him and do what she needs to do, huh?
Yeah, but you said
You'll watch the video again.
Hold on, it's paradoxal what you just said.
What is it?
Because you said the more we fight, the more we connected.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll explain. So
Leave
yes.
the questions for after.
Yeah, we could do the questions afterwards and just keep going. But in reality, is that people who aren't supposed to fight, okay, they are really connected. Like some kind of friends or family and that kind of stuff. They're really connected, and they're fighting over that same energy source. When we say that the woman is not really his, and that's why she's fighting him, okay, they could be connected also very close, because remember, they were brought together because she's the closest to him, right? But she's not really his, so she's not going to feel it.
Because maybe he
Okay.
needs some waking up.
Only God knows, right? Okay. So if you guys turn to page 379 in the books, okay. So in our books, The Way of God, okay. If you look at page 379, I'll read it in English. Okay, so page 379. It's called Providence. Providence in Hebrew is Ashgacha. Okay, for those who don't understand English so well, so Ashgacha is how God oversees a person's life. Okay, so how does God actually track our lives? Okay, so people think when something happens to them, they think and they see it, they're like, oh wow, look how much God is guiding my life. But they don't understand, like, God starts from the day you're born till the day you die. He's always guiding your life. Nothing happens by chance. Okay, we're going to see soon that nothing happens by chance. But a person doesn't see the whole light in one shot. So he doesn't see how everything is connected, right? We see fragmentations. Because we see fragmentation, we see every moment in time in the moment in time. We don't see the past, present, and future in one shot. If we did, we'd understand how everything's connected. But we don't. We just see each frame by frame. And frame by frame, it's hard to connect the dots. Okay? But we're going to talk about how God oversees a person and guides their life from beginning to end. Okay? So, I'm reading the Providence. God constantly oversees all things that he created, and he sustains and directs each entity according to the purpose for which it was created. Remember, we said, Hu mamtzi kol ma shenimtza. He is creating at every single second everything that's in existence. Okay? If he would stop creating it, it would, poof, disappear. Okay? So he's creating everything that's in existence, and he's making it created as long as it fits the purpose. Remember, the purpose was to bring all humanity to the next world and give them everlasting pleasure for all eternity. Okay? So that's where everything's directed. Since man is unique in that he is rewarded and punished for his deeds, okay, as we discussed, the providence that applies to him must be different from that over all other species. Okay, meaning like the camera, the sweater, everything in existence has one kind of ashgacha, one kind of like providence overseeing, but man is different because man changes. Today it could be good, tomorrow it could be bad. The Gemara asks, like, does Israel have mazal or do they don't have mazal? Right? The Jews have the influence of the constellations on them, or they don't have it. Okay, are they above the constellations? So the end is that they do have that application on them, meaning like if someone was born in Aries, they'll have the traits of an Aries, but because they can do the commandments, they can rise above that, okay, where the other nations can't so much, okay, but the Jews can rise above their mazal, okay, above their constellation. So you see a person, the way they act with him, right, because God is making, I think Shakespeare said all the world's a stage and men are like merely the actors on there, right? So same thing. God is creating the stage we call life, this world, okay? And he's creating it perfectly for us according to what we do, according to what we say, according to what we think. Everything's 100% perfect, okay? So the providence that is for us is different from anything else in the world. The cats, the dogs, the trees, everything in existence. The providence over any other species exists only to maintain that particular species within the bounds and limitations that God desires. Okay, so the cat has to be the cat, the dog the dog, the table. Everything has to stay perfect as it is. It can't go changing. The table can't turn into a chair, in front of our eyes.
Animals, do they have souls?
No, they have what's called a nefesh. It's even less than a nefesh. It's actually, we're talking about animals and do they have souls. So in the book it says that they actually are, they're physical, they're not spiritual, but it's the purest of the physical, so it appears to us as something spiritual. Okay, because it's so pure in its physical state, it appears to us as living and as a spiritual entity, but it's not. It's very physical. Okay.
But how about when they say somebody passes away, his soul could go to a...
Oh yeah, definitely. A person. We didn't talk about all the things with reincarnations, but a person could be reincarnated into four things, right? Domem is like a rock material. Tzomeach, something that sprouts, like a tree, a blade of grass, or anything. A chai, chai is like an animal, okay, a dog, fish, whatever it is. And the gate of reincarnation lists all the sins that a person may do. It may be incarnated as a dog, as a deer, as an eagle. It could be anything, or another person. Okay, so the four that a person could be reincarnated into.
So can you get an animal that has a soul reincarnated?
Yeah, of course.
I mean,
everything you get has a soul in it. So
you
the
just-
book has a soul in it. The book, the tree,
But you
everything in
just said
it.
an animal has no soul, doesn't nefesh.
Right.
Not spirit.
It itself doesn't. So someone could be punished and put into it. The same thing, like a rock doesn't have a soul, but someone's soul, because they need to get punished, gets put into that rock. What's that? Okay.
Like, do they come back to life after? These people that get, like, the worst, I guess, is a rock, yeah?
It could be anything. It could be a dog that someone kicks in the street. It could be any crazy thing that you would think of.
So it doesn't matter what you get reincarnated into.
Well, it's perfect. Whatever you did as a sin, you get reincarnated into as a punishment. Understand? It's 100% perfect. There's no, The best is to not be reincarnated. To stay in Gan Eden, in a good place, and that's the best thing to do.
You can stay there.
If you fixed everything you need to fix, you stay in the world of souls until the 6,000 is over. And when the 6,000 is over and the world is reincarnated at the year 7,000, that's when all our souls come back into a body form.
When we have deja vu, is it real? Like, means that we've been here already at this particular... So what is that?
It's you could have seen something in a dream and then you see it again. It could be any one of those things.
It's not
Not
deja
that
vu.
my soul lived that already?
What?
Not that my soul lived that moment?
No. Your soul could have experienced something similar and then you saw it again and it feels very, very close to you. But it's probably like you saw it in a dream and they were giving you some kind of prophecy, because a dream is 1/60th the prophecy of a 1/60th the prophecy. So showing you a little bit of future, the question is, did you discern it? Did you not discern it in time? Okay? So let's see. He thus oversees each individual creature of that species only with respect to its effect on the species as a whole, right? But not as an individual, right? Rocks are rocks, trees are trees, and that's the way it goes on.
Fish is fish.
Fish is fish, okay? The individual merely fulfills the purpose of maintaining the species as a whole, okay? This is not the case, however, with regard to man, okay? Besides what each individual experiences as part of the human race as a whole, providence is also extended to him individually for his own sake, okay? So God oversees humanity as a whole, okay? We're all like a community, okay, that God wants to bring to the next world and to give everybody pleasure, okay? But he also oversees every single person individually, okay? So God oversees the whole world, 8 billion people, and he oversees Kobe Bryant specifically, sees me, every single person in the world, specifically according to what they do, okay? He is thus judged individually for his deeds. Deeds, again, we're saying thoughts, words, actions, okay? And decrees are issued regarding him as an individual, according to all the details of his situation. The book also speaks about, like, a person is born in a certain time, right? Now it's 2020, so I'm judged on the whole world at being alive at this time. Okay, I'm also judged who my parents were, who my kids are supposed to be. Also judged who lives in the same city as me, same country, same city, same town, same neighborhood. Okay, so everybody, who my friends are and everything like that. So all the details come into effect onto how things are going to come to me. Okay, so sometimes when a person sees he doesn't have good luck, Chazal, like our sages told us, Mishanem Makom, Shanem Mazal, person goes to another place, his energies change and he can have better luck at another place, right? Maybe changes his name, a lot of different things that a person could do to change his luck in life. Move houses, anything, all that stuff. Change clothes. Yes. Change spouses is also included in that, okay?
Change wives.
Yeah, it is necessary to know that man's activities are divided into two general categories, okay? One category includes activities that result in some merit or liability for the individual, this being the category of good deeds and sins, okay? Good deeds and sins, mitzvahs and averot, all right? The second category includes all activities that do not result in any merit or liability. So they do not involve a concept of either good sins or good deeds or sins. A person brushes his teeth. That's not good or not bad, right? A person washes his hair. Not good, right? He eats. He goes to the bathroom. There's not in a category of good or bad. Now, he writes in the book, you can elevate these things. Again, if you have the right, proper mindset, even those little things that you do are elevated and become holy, okay? But there's two categories, sins and commandments, right? Positive and negative commandments, and stuff you do, carry on daily activity of your life, okay? With respect to everything that involves a good deed or a sin, in any manner whatsoever, man has absolute free will, okay? You could do whichever one. And providence does not cause anything to coerce him. Okay, so a person could choose. He wants to kill, he wants to fight, he wants to talk,
This
he
I
wants...
don't like.
What's the problem?
Free will, again.
Free will.
No,
Okay?
but we don't have free will. He's everywhere. It's Ben soft. Yeah, you already said that.
Oh, what am I gonna do with you guys? Okay, listen up. Listen very carefully. And everybody watching at home, listen to this very, very, very carefully.
It decided
Okay?
already what we
We're gonna
That's you.
We're gonna repeat it again and again every day until everybody gets this 100%. Okay? It's complicated, but it's very simple. You just gotta listen to it and just accept it. Okay? The more you accept it, the more you'll understand it. Okay? So it goes like this. Okay? God is the Ein Sof. God is meaning He has no end. It means He permeates everything. Okay? So it's not about knowledge. It's about, does He do everything or does He not do everything? If we say He's Ein Sof, He permeates everything. He's in my beard hair, He's in my nose, He's in my casket, He's everywhere. He's in the books, He's He's in the air we don't see. He's every single place. That means He has to do everything that happens. There's nothing outside of Him. The world doesn't exist here and He's here. It doesn't work. It's together. It's meshed. But I don't feel it. I go through life and I pick, I choose, I turn off the light, I move there, I do that, okay? I don't feel this oneness and connection, okay? It is a oneness, it is a connection, but I don't feel it. I live my life picking and choosing,
As if.
okay? Not as if, I'm doing it, okay?
As if.
I'm doing it, okay? I don't realize that it's also God working through me and creating everything.
Yeah, but now we realize
It's both at the same time. No, you don't realize it. It's both at the same time. The word you just came out of your mouth, that was Him. Did you realize that?
Yeah, now I believe everything I do, good or bad, is because of Him. You know, it's like.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, but you are choosing. That's why you're commanded. You have commandments, you have ways to act. So you choose. Okay? That's how you're supposed to live. Okay? Even if a person says, I don't want to do anything, I want to go sleep. Okay? God's going to fix the world without me. Well, who's making you go sleep? You think it's you. You're never disconnected. But in our life, we're given the illusion that we're disconnected from God. Okay? We're not disconnected. Everything is Him. Okay, that's why
We want to
a
believe
person,
that we're disconnected.
that's why we want to believe we're disconnected. We're given the illusion that we're disconnected so we can choose. Okay? But that's why a person is not allowed to get arrogant. Can a person be arrogant that he was a total righteous person? Right? He studied Torah all day long. He only helped people. He only did good deeds. Never sinned one day in his life. Can a person be arrogant? Be like, psh, look at me. Why?
Because it's never, He moves the law.
It's God, right? So if He says, look at me, He's saying there's me and there's God somewhere up there or somewhere outside of me, right? And it's not one. So you're not allowed to be arrogant.
But He give you to go to this situation.
What are you proud of?
You can't do any of it without God.
Okay, exactly.
But Hashem made
And
you.
all you do, b'chol dachecha dayehu, v'hu yasher ochotecha. And anything that you do, you should know Him. Okay, that's one of the commandments. That's one of the things we swore before we came down to the world, right? Remember, the baby was in the stomach. He learned all the Torah, but he was only given permission to come in is if he swore that he will know God in this world, and that's why everybody gets smacked over here on the lips, and we have the indentation in our lips because the angel smacked us and told us, remember what you swore to God. You swore that you will come to this world and know Him. Okay? So we have to know God in every single thing. So is a person allowed to get angry?
No.
No, right? Why is he not allowed to get angry? There has to be a reason that he's not allowed to get angry.
Because everything God makes, so why you mad at God?
Exactly. You understand? A person who gets angry doesn't believe.
You could only get angry.
A person who gets arrogant doesn't believe. Okay? He doesn't understand what's going on. Yeah, Gava. He doesn't understand what's going on at that single second.
So, yeah.
But what he sees the person's angry. He sees the kid angering him, not listening to him, right? He sees, that's his eyes showing him this story. But he would step back and realize what the Torah teaches and what God teaches him. He understands that it's all one.
So why we do it?
Yeah.
Why we do what?
It's
Get angry.
Because we don't understand.
Yeah.
It says, "Ein adam choteh ela im ken nichneset bo ruach shtut." A person doesn't sin unless a stupid spirit comes into his head.
Stupid spirit.
I
Okay?
know.
Stupid
What's
spirit.
going on here? So a stupid spirit, right? A person doesn't sin.
If we are
Naturally.
Hashem, if we are everything, represent. So when we
כולנו.
get mad or
Yeah.
isn't it
הרבה פחות מאשר.
Yeah.
like
Yeah, that
he's
other person,
making-
that other person you got mad at had to watch you get mad for some reason. He had to experience that, and he had to feel that
that's what
suffering.
I'm saying.
You had to feel that suffering, and it's all part of it. But the
So
question
why
is,
is-
will you realize it? Will you learn the Torah and realize it, or no? Just live your life just like an animal, right?
נכון, הוא צודק.
Well, how are you going to live your life? Oh, I don't know why this is happening. This is such a tragedy. Oh my goodness. Oh, yo. And just cry about it. What are you going to do? You're going to live like that? Or are you going to live? No. God has a plan. He does everything. Everything's moving towards, the ship is going towards its destination. All right? And enjoy it and be happy with it. Okay? That's it. You just got to be happy. The more you know this, the more you're happy because there's somebody directing the ship. Things don't happen by chance. You weren't born by
You become
chance.
like that.
You didn't become an adult by chance. You didn't make it to the stage in life by chance. You understand? Everything that happened to you happened to you for a certain reason because your soul had to have it happen to you. Whether it was good, all the birthdays, or whether it was bad, all the fights, all the craziness that happened to your life, right? Everything was supposed to happen for your soul. Okay?
How you can make it better for us?
Make what better?
Like, to control these things.
You can only control how you feel in reaction to what happens. And not even that. If God opens your heart up and you understand everything, so it makes it easier. If He doesn't open your heart, you'll just cry about it and say, oh, it's not fair, and how come this person gets that, and I want this, and that. Maybe if I pray harder, maybe if I give more charity, maybe if I do this, maybe if I do that. Nothing. You understand? Either you can understand and flow with it, or just fight it. You understand? It's easier to understand it and go with it. Go with the flow. Whatever my life is a blank slate. Whatever happens, happens. Most people live like, no, my life is my life. I have a Hollywood script in my head. Okay? And I want things to go a certain way. And when they don't, I'll get upset. I'll get depressed. I'll have anxiety. What's going to happen tomorrow? What's not going to happen tomorrow? Oh my goodness. Right? They start playing mind games. That's why this generation has so many mental issues. Why do they have mental issues? Because there's no God.
I have no beliefs.
Exactly. There's no God.
Somebody comes and punches you punch him back.
What's that? Someone punches me and punches me back. I told him some
What are you
kid,
gonna say?
some kid in shul wanted to punch me. Okay, this is on tape, right? He can watch this. Okay, he came to punch me, so he lifted his hand. So I went like this, right? He's like, "What? You're afraid?" I'm like, "No, I'm not afraid." Okay, it might hurt, so I went like this. But you can hit me. Go ahead. You want to hit me? Hit me. He's like, "You're not afraid?" I told him, "Why would I be afraid?" He said, "Well, I'm going to hit you." So he thought I wasn't afraid because I was going to hit him back. He's like, "You're going to hit me back?" I'm like, "No, but God will. I promise you. Go ahead. You want to hit me? Hit me. You're going to get smacked. Not from me. I won't do it. I won't lift my hand on you. But God's going to get you back." There's a thing called karma, right? In Hebrew, we call it midah keneged
Is it
midah.
real karma?
We call midah keneged midah. Measure for measure. You lift your hand and you hit somebody, somebody's going to come and hit you. It could smack into you with a car. Okay, it could be like a bee that stung you. It could be a million things. God has many, many agents to carry out His things. So you want to hit me? Go ahead, have fun. But you're going to get it back too. Not from me. I'm not going to lift my hand. I'm not going to get punished for hitting you. But God's going to get you back. The kid didn't hit me.
I can't.
All right. The kid, he was a young guy. He was playing around, okay? But he didn't hit me. He was punching all his friends. But when he came to punch me, he didn't do it. What happened? Put the fear in God of him. I put in a realization like, really? You think you control this world? Go ahead, have fun. Okay? So the world works measure for measure. We don't see it measure for measure because measure for measure could take a month. It could take a year. It could take 52 years. People don't understand this because they want to analyze the situation. So maybe they get upset like, oh my goodness, Kobe did this or this person did that and they're so good, so how come it happened? Well, we don't see the person's whole life, right? So, for instance, everybody knows Sodom and Amorah, right? In English, Sodom and Gomorrah, right? They were very evil people for 52 years. God didn't do anything to them. But after 52 years, God destroyed them, right? He brought down fire and brimstone and destroyed the whole city and killed everybody. What happened? Year 49, Year 50, everybody says, no, everything's good. What are you talking about? There's no karma. There's no measure for measure. We do what we want in this world, right? Year 52, boom, everything's destroyed. Okay? Because God keeps a log of everything.
52 is a special number
Yes.
of what?
So 52 is a number that if you, there's the special name is Yud, Hey, Vav, and Hey. Okay? That's God was, is, and always will be. And there's certain ways to write it. If you write it out a certain way, the numerical value of all the letters comes to 52. That represents the woman. The man, if you write it out, is 45. Okay, so 45 is also a special number. President 45, right? There's a connection. No, don't relax, guys. Okay, so the 45 of the male comes and fixes the 52 of the woman, and together they have harmony. Okay, keep going. All right. Now,
52 and 45 is 97. 3%.
don't worry about it. Okay.
The kids.
So the highest providence, right? The highest judge oversees all this, judging these deeds according to their particular nature, and decreeing the proper recompense for each one. So you said hi to someone, you're gonna get something for it, right? You snubbed someone, you didn't look at them, you were mad at them, you're gonna get for it. Everything is perfectly tailor-fitted to your life for everything you say, you think, you do. Okay? Yeah, people, we don't do this. We don't know what we think. Okay? We don't know what we are. We let our thoughts wander. We let sometimes our words slip. Right? We talk so quickly sometimes. We don't pay attention. We hurt somebody with our words by accident and that kind of stuff. Or even on purpose. We talk so many words. We forgot our conversation in the morning. But everything is going in accounting. The meter's always running. It doesn't stop. Okay, it's like that show, The Big Brother or something. There's always a camera on you. Everything's being recorded every single second, right? So that's what's really going on. And things happen not by chance. Everything happens perfectly. So if a person realizes this, he says, okay, I better act correctly. I better act good, right? But if a person doesn't realize this, then, he acts as he or she wants, okay? With regard to deeds that do not pertain to virtue or sin, however, man is no different in his experiences from any other species. Okay? In such cases, he can be motivated by higher forces, both in order to maintain the human race as a whole, and to bring each individual his appropriate reward and punishment. So, like a person has to go give somebody a gift, right? So God will make sure that the person, goes to the store, he thinks about his friend, gives him, buys something for him, and gives him a gift. Okay, that's not because a person did something or didn't do nothing, or right. It was just that's the normal flow of humanity, and God is running it in that way. Okay, God Himself oversees all, judges all, and issues all decrees. Okay, so you have nobody to talk to except God, right? Shouldn't try any agents or that kind of stuff. The angels are His servants, and each one is given its own appointed task. Okay, each angel has their what they need to do in the world. They therefore either cause things to happen within their own particular realm, the world of angels, or bring matters about for each individual according to his ways, following the rules of recompense as discussed earlier. Okay, so the angels, are carrying out everything. The worlds, if you remember the worlds, there's 4 different worlds. The angels are in the world just above us, and whatever instructions they get, they bring down onto us. Okay, so that's how God carries out with everything that happens in the world, right? It says a person, en adam hofef etzba lemata, ela im ken machzim alav milemala, right? A person doesn't move his finger down here, he doesn't bend his finger down here, unless it's decreed upon on high, right? And every blade of grass in the world has an angel striking it and telling it to grow. Okay, so just think the elaborate system of what's going on in the world. Nobody has any clue. Okay, but we do because God revealed some of the stuff to us. Okay.
So if we get mad, it was decreed.
Yes.
it's not a sin then.
No, it is. Okay?
Something that
You
causes
don't live in God's realm. Okay? So you live in your realm. I live in my realm. I see the world through my eyes.
Yeah, but
So I'm commanded to do certain things because I see the world through my eyes. I don't see the world through God's eyes.
they control us.
They do everything.
So
Doesn't matter. You don't live. Everything we speak is from our vantage point. From our vantage point is we can choose good and evil. That's it. So just choose good. That's your vantage point. You don't
get
see God's
mad
vantage
in a
point.
nice way.
Hmm?
You can get mad in a nice way.
No. What you're allowed to do is, for instance, for your kid, you have to, teach them the right way, right? So even though your kid may do something that upsets you, you're not allowed to get mad, but you can show them like a face. You can show them a face that you're mad, right? You can squint your eyes and go, no, you did something bad. You can do that, but you inside your heart is not allowed to be mad. Okay? And parents should know this. God acts the same exact way. Right, by the way, since God is Ein Sof, God is every single way, we can't make him angry. Right?
But isn't there like times where like we've made him angry and says like God's angry?
No.
And so he doesn't. He has no feelings.
Yeah. Right? He had something. He has no feelings. There's nothing could affect if everything is him. All right, if everything is Ein Sof, what can affect him? It's all him. So who's going to be outside of him to make him angry? Okay. What the Torah says is God is angry and that kind of stuff, or he's happy when we do good things. It's the way the world around us interacts with us. When things go good, God's happy. When things go bad, God's upset, right? That's because the world is interacting with us. So that's why the Torah is talking about. Okay? It is necessary to realize that God truly knows everything. Nothing is hidden from him. And since he knew all things from the very beginning, no new knowledge actually comes to him. Okay? Nothing is going to be like surprising to him because he knows everything, right? Nevertheless, God's direction and judgment of the world are not founded on his knowledge. The way he runs the world is not the way he knows, but rather on a system of judgment that he desired. On Rosh Hashanah, okay, the year is judged, right? And every Rosh Hashanah. On Rosh Hashanah, we read the section of Ishmael, the son of Abraham, who was about to die because of thirst. And at that time, why do we read it? Every year we read this, okay? The Torah tells us to read it because at that time, when Ishmael was dying of thirst, the angels came to God and said, kill him. And God decreed, no, I can't kill him. They said, why not? Don't you know that his descendants are going to do so much trouble to your descendants, to the Jewish people? They're going to kill him by thirst, right? And they did. In the future, they did. They when we were being led away, they fed us salty foods, and then we needed water, and then we died in the desert because they didn't give us the water. Okay? The angels knew this. God knew this. Okay? But he said, no, Ba'asher Usham. I judge the kid where he's at right now. Right now, he didn't do anything wrong. I judge him as he is. The same thing for us. On Rosh Hashanah, God may know, like 3 months in, we're going to sin, we're going to do something bad. But he doesn't judge us then. He judges on our heart on that day. Okay? He doesn't judge the world as what he knows is going to happen.
So if we did something bad during the year and on that day we're so good, you judge on that day.
Yeah, again, judge on that day. And that's why we read that Torah passage. Okay, and that's the power of tshuva, to say, I'm sorry, God, I want to return, I messed up, and that kind of stuff. Okay? But you do usually do tshuva before Rosh Hashanah. And then even after, God is so merciful, even after he judges you, he gives you another 10 days to repent and fix yourself. But really the Kabbalah says it's more than 10 days. You have an actual 51 days. Okay? And that's why it's called Hoshana Rabbah. Like, please forgive us for everything we did, right? So after 51 days, you have to actually repent and fix, your judgment for the rest of the year. Okay? We'll do a little bit more and we'll call it a night. Nevertheless, God's direction and judgment of the world are not founded on his knowledge, as we said, but according to this system. Okay? This system resembles the ways of an earthly government, and matters are judged in tribunals consisting of angels. So there's a courtroom. Just like there's a courtroom down here, there's a courtroom up there. there's a prosecutor, and there's a defendant. Okay? Every commandment that we do, every mitzvah that we do, we have a defending attorney. Every sin and transgression we do, we have a prosecuting attorney against us. Okay? So a person wants to
Every day
get as many defending attorneys and stay away from the prosecuting ones, okay? Because this is the way it's going to happen. This judgment includes witnesses giving testimony, okay? So God has witnesses all around us, cameras recording all the time, our voices, but even more our thoughts, our intentions. Exactly. You got to be a good person. It's not scary. It's just, this is what it is. This is the world, right? There's a system, a social credit system in China right now. They're implementing. They're watching the citizens every single time. Well, of course you're going to be on your best behavior because you understand there's something watching and recording every single second. If you didn't think that, well, I can get away from this. Nobody really sees me. Remember the sin of Adam Rishon, the first sin, right? What did he do? He started hiding after he sinned. What are you hiding from? You think God doesn't see you under the bush? No, because we forgot who God was from the sin, and so we think we can hide. We think we can escape. There's nowhere to hide, nowhere to escape, right? I feel the whole world, God says. So where are you going to hide? I'm Ein Sof, right? Because you sin, you don't understand that I'm Ein Sof. You don't understand that I'm every single place. Right? And the more people sin, the more the world sins as it is right now. It's getting more and more secular. There are studies coming out every single day. People are getting further and further away. Whatever it is, it could be a fake religion or whatever kind of religion, but they don't believe in a higher being, a higher power. It's getting worse and worse. Okay? People are thinking they can get away from everything. But God is making it through technology to show them that they really can't. The governments are now spying on them. Companies are spying on them, whether they want to or not. It's called surveillance capitalism. Yeah, through your phones, through everything. Surveillance capitalism. The businesses are watching you constantly. Okay? All right? So everything is happening like this. The judgment includes witnesses giving testimony, right? People are actually going to testify what your heart was, what your thoughts were, what your words were, what your actions were. Prosecutors seeking judgment, and advocates pleading the individual's case, right? And their case and cause. So you're going to have good people on your side saying your good things, and you're going to have bad people saying your bad things, okay? So what our intention is to have as many good people, any good angels as, stay away from the bad ones. All of these are angels appointed to such tasks, some bearing witness about things that have happened in the physical world, others prosecuting, and still others defending. The judgment is then completed according to a system of justice that is both fair and correct. Okay? So a person can't say, I had a bad lawyer. The judge was a mean judge.
Yeah.
Okay? In this world, there could be crazy judgment. In the next world, there is no crazy judgment. Everything is absolutely perfect. If you remember, we said that when a person goes to sleep, what happens is their soul goes up and they're shown a ledger of everything they did, they spoke, they thought, and they have to sign and say, yep, that was me. Okay, so at the end of all this, they're gonna see everything in front of them. So there's no hiding. Okay? So again, we're getting to the point where we see that if a person is smart, he understands, okay, let me find out what the purpose of life is, and let me live according to that purpose, okay? More detailed is to find out these commandments and find out how to do them, okay? And once I understand the whole system, I can go ahead and be that best athlete that I can be, right? Just like Kobe was the best basketball player he could be, we're going to be the best souls, the best righteous people that we can be, okay? Because there's a purpose to get us to the next world and to give us that everlasting pleasure, okay? All right, guys, take care.